You would think that Sam and Bucky had enough on their plate in Falcon and the Winter Soldier over on Disney+, what with fighting the terrorist Flag Smasher organization, contending with the new state-appointed Captain America, and Helmut Zemo back into the mix. But episode 2 revealed the involvement of a third villain, the Power Broker.
How much time do we have?
None. It's the Power Brokers, man.
But who is this mysterious broker exactly? Well, sit back and prepare your notepad. We're about to break it down for you. Trying to get superpowers is a bit of a crapshoot. Not everyone can have the luck to be bitten by a mutated spider, but surely there must be someone out there to sell their services to those that want to become super, right? This was exactly the niche market that Curtis Jackson sought to corner in the Marvel Comics when he founded Power Broker Inc. Selling his own off-brand super soldier serum, Jackson made a killing, roiding up wrestlers and any number of small-time criminals, some of which are still knocking around somewhere in the vast Marvel universe today. But his two finest and most important creations were John Walker and his partner Lamar Hoskins, who came to him back when John sought to oppose Captain America as the Super Patriot, before eventually becoming a new Captain America himself, and later still taking the moniker of US Agent. But Jackson's serum was a knockoff product, and several of the patsies that bought into it ended up turning into deformed monstrosities as a result. This included Jackson himself when he took the serum after being threatened by the second scourge of the underworld. Jackson got buff, sure, but he got so buff that he couldn't move without wearing a special harness, courtesy of classic mad scientist Carl Malus, who comic fans may know as the man who later goes on to give the second Falcon, Joaquin Torres, his powers. In an attempt to perfect a potential depowering process to bring Jackson back to normal, Malice managed to kidnap and experiment on Lamar Hoskins, now going by the name of Battlestar. After a well-deserved beating from John, now the new Captain America, Curtis Jackson spent a good while in jail, and his appearances from here were rare to say the least. Eventually, a somehow freed Curtis was killed by the famously trigger-happy Punisher right as he was about to attend an auction for supervillains. A notable end for what was arguably John Walker's archenemy at one point. Much later, the name Power Broker would haunt the lives of superheroes again, but this time it was quite a different hero that he had to tangle with, more specifically, Scott Lang, the current Ant-Man.
I'm so confused.
During a time where Scott was attempting to make it both as a superhero and legitimate businessman owning his own super security company in Miami, he got into a nasty conflict with Darren Cross of Cross Industries, a longtime enemy of the former Ant-Man, Hank Pym. See, Darren Cross had attempted to harvest Scott's daughter Cassie's Pym particle-infused heart in order to balance his own unstable body after being resurrected by his son Augustine. Either way, that was when an unnamed individual, calling himself the Power Broker, appeared with a business proposal to Cross. This new, more modern-minded Power Broker was developing quite an interesting app called Hench, which allowed the big guns to hire small-time criminal mercenaries to keep the heroes busy while they themselves worked on whatever big scheme they had in mind. Cross, however, was not interested, but it did inspire his loyal son Augustine to just steal the idea and create his own version, called Lackey instead. The Power Broker opted to retaliate by creating the follow-up product, Hench X, a procedure that would give anyone willing to pay their own set of superpowers. Power Broker had made things personal, however, when he took advantage of Cassie Lang, who had previously enjoyed a life as the size-changing young Avenger called Stature, but had since lost her powers. He cut Cassie a deal to restore her powers without having to pay a fee, but rather in exchange of stealing back his tech from Cross Industries. However, Cassie eventually managed to track down and defeat the Power Broker, who has not been seen from since. That's all well and good, but what does this mean for Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Well, it seems pretty cut and dry, right? The Flag Smashers appear to be empowered by a knockoff super serum, and if episode 2 is anything to go by, they probably stole it from a disgruntled Power Broker. It seems a no-brainer to assume that this Power Broker must be the Curtis Jackson version. After all, he's the one with strong ties to the Captain America mythos as a whole, but who's to say that Marvel going forward won't incorporate some aspects of the second Power Broker, huh? While the Power Broker is unlikely to become some kind of major Ant-Man foe, he could serve a different purpose. After all, we know that the MCU movies like to spice things up by adding the occasional loosely related action scene showing the heroes fighting a smaller time villain. Having a power broker that villains can approach to hire or even create super-powered muscle would not only be a great way to provide more fun and some varied action scenes, but also give Marvel's enormous gaggle of mercenary supervillains the perfect chance to make small, fun cameos for the audience to gobble up. The fact of the matter is that someone is peddling super soldier serum to the highest bidder, and that spells trouble for our two star-spangled former sidekicks as they contend with terrorists, superhero haters, and Captain America posers. And who knows who else has that super serum out there. Here's hoping the series goes for broke with it. Huh? Eh? Come on, you guys are no fun.